what it's really like to live in Annapolis, Maryland. What do people do for fun, entertainment? In this video, we're going to be highlighting just some of the annual events that people come to Annapolis to participate in or as enthusiastic spectators. Hey, if this is your first time on this channel and you want to know everything about moving and living in Annapolis, Maryland and the surrounding areas, then subscribe below and tap the button for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Annapolis. My name is Paraschak, and my husband John and I, we get calls every single day from people just like you who are looking for help on making the move to Annapolis and the surrounding areas, and we love it. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our contact information is below in the About section. So reach out to us so we can help you have a smooth move to Annapolis, Maryland. So let's get to it. There's always some public event going on throughout the year for you to participate in or be a spectator. Now here's just a rundown. We'll do it month by month. So starting January 1st, there's a New Year's Eve run. It was spontaneously started. It's called Resolution Run. And this event started several years ago and it's gaining huge popularity as runners come every year, and it starts at City Dock at 9 o'clock. It doesn't matter where or for how long you run. This is unsponsored, and afterward, the runners have a treat back at the Fleet Reserve on Compromise Street for a free pancake breakfast with Irish coffee. In February, we have Restaurant Week, usually beginning in late February into the first few days of March. An ever-growing list of 40 restaurants offers specials to entice people to come out in the brisk weather and enjoy Annapolis cuisine throughout Annapolis and the surrounding areas. The participating restaurants offer discounts and specials that are very enticing to lots of people to enjoy. It's a big hit every year. In March, there's several events, including a St. Patrick's Day parade with pipe and drum crews from all over the Northeast, followed by viewers becoming customers at local pubs and restaurants, all in honor of St. Patrick's Day of Ireland. And as the old joke goes, there are the Irish and then everybody else who wants to be. I can say that because I'm 100% Irish American. I jokingly tell my husband that every year. Afterward, let the party begin as spectators now become customers. They rush into their favorite pub or restaurant to enjoy green beer and Irish fare. In April, there's the famous St. John's College U.S. Naval Academy croquet match. This began in 1992 and has become a huge favorite of the rivalry between these two great schools. By the way, St. John's has won 31 out of 35 tournaments. This has become very popular, and people bring their lawn chairs at St. John's, and there's banter between the Middies and the St. Johnnies. Now also in May 1st, businesses don their doors with the most beautiful floral arrangements, and people come into downtown from all over just to see these magnificent baskets that the businesses have on their doors. It's kind of a fun thing. It's a local event. But the news of it is starting to spread wide, and we're getting more people coming out May 1st and just stroll along Annapolis, and it's eye candy when you look at these baskets. It's beautiful. The other thing in May, which is very big doings, is it's the graduation week for the United States Naval Academy. Now, some events are open to the public, such as we call them P-raids, and I don't know if there's special events for guests and parents, but I would imagine there's something like that. The other big event that's a draw is when the Navy Blue Angels come and they fly overhead. They do this phenomenal air show, and it's just amazing. People come, I mean, thousands and thousands of people come every year, and they find a place to sit and watch on the periphery of Annapolis, or if they're lucky, they get onto Hospital Point at the Naval Academy to really get a great view. And the other thing about the flyover with the Blue Angels is that if you own a boat and you think, oh, I'm just gonna watch from my boat, you're gonna have to anchor. The Coast Guard is very, very strict about this, as well as the police will close all the bridges so that the pilots are not distracted by any activity below. So just be aware of that. You're not going to be able to tool around in your boat. The Coast Guard will tell you step aside. So, and the air show lasts maybe about 40 minutes, but it's a huge draw. If you are going into the yard, which is the Naval Academy grounds, Be aware that you have to come in through gate 1 and you will be required to show a government-sponsored ID. And with graduation week, with all those people funneling in through one gate, I would imagine that the lines are going to be extremely long. So plan on that. The other thing to remember is traffic will be very, very heavy. If at all possible, park out at the Navy Stadium, take the shuttle into downtown, and then walk over to gate 1. So this is just word to the wise. Wear very comfortable shoes. And I would also suggest that you bring some water and maybe even a hat to help shield you from the sun. Now the fun just continues. In June, the Tides and Tunes Summer Concert Series begins mid-June for 10 weeks into August at the Annapolis Maritime Museum at 723 2nd Street. And this group does an eclectic type of music. They'll do rock, they'll do jazz, they'll do blues, and it's free, but they do ask for donations. The other thing is when you go, make sure you bring something to sit on, like a lawn chair or a blanket. So it is kind of fun to do that. There are actually several outdoor concert series that are free. And I can mention those in a later video, but just know that throughout the summer, there's all kinds of concerts that are free for the family to enjoy. Now here's another for June. We have the Annapolis Arts Day in June with events up and down West Street, which is one of the main articles into downtown. And it continues over to Maryland Hall, which is our performing arts theater. And they do a symphony there and ballet there. And it's an all-purpose performing arts, so that's a very nice thing. Now the fun just keeps rolling. In July, the city does Dinner Under the Stars. It's the first block of West Street going into Annapolis, and it's cordoned off on Wednesday evenings and select Saturdays. So people manage to go in. They string lights all around. It's very festive, and the various restaurants are available to serve evening fare or lunch fare. It's usually just dinner, but it's a big favorite, and people love that. And the streets are filled with open air tables, so that's where people are sitting. So that's why they close off that street. And then the other thing, of course, let's not forget July 4th, and it's big doings. So the city of Annapolis does fireworks every year. They're phenomenal. And people, again, they come all around just to watch the fireworks. Some people watch from their boats. Some people are lucky to have homes that can front Spa Creek or the Chesapeake or Severn River, and they can watch from there. And yet everybody else kind of finds a place to park themselves so that they're able to watch the beautiful display of fireworks that annually goes on. So that's a big event as well. And let's see, now we're coming into August. There's the Maryland Seafood Festival located at City Dock, and this year in mid-August. And it's the biggest and best seafood festival on the East Coast. People come from all over just to participate in this. And of course, there's friendly competition about who makes the best crab soup. And if you're from Maryland, you know that crabs are big doings in Maryland. So if you don't know how to pick a crab, someone will be more than happy to show you. But it's a very social event. So that also goes on. So that's something that you might want to consider as well. It's just a lot of fun. So just so that you're aware, parking is an issue in Annapolis at practically any time of the year. So for these big events, we highly recommend that you check out the Navy Stadium and take the shuttle into events downtown Annapolis. So as I mentioned, the Seafood Festival is at City Dock this year. And so I would highly recommend, the city recommends that you park at the Navy Stadium, and it'll be $5-10 per person to go down. You'll be in downtown Annapolis in 5 or 10 minutes tops. And speaking of the Seafood Festival, there's all kinds of seafood. So I don't mean to give you the impression that it's only crabs. But it's held at City Dock, and it's just a great time to be, participating in that. So this brings us to September, and in September we have the Labor Day Parade, of course, downtown. That's an annual event, and the other fun thing is the the Renaissance Festival opens in September and will run into late October. And this is wildly popular. People come from all the various counties, maybe even out of state, to participate. It's a fun family thing. You'll be noshing on a turkey leg. You'll see jousting. You'll see fair ladies all in costume, and people really get a kick out of this. You'll see, back in the old days when bad people would be in those things where the head went through and their hands were like this. That's fun. Though I wouldn't want to do that. But anyway, so that's the big things for September. Now, just to remind you, this in no way encapsulates everything that's available. These are just some of the highlights, and you just have to check the local papers and the events and find out what's available. And any time of the year, there might be something that you're interested in that I'm not mentioning, so keep that in mind too. Annapolis is a very eclectic place. There's something for pretty much everybody. There's a quilting community. There's, of course, the boating and sailing community. There's boating and sailing lessons at the various sailing schools. And any kind of cuisine. We're just getting a new Japanese restaurant at the Annapolis Mall in just a couple of days. So, if you like all that different type of cuisine, don't think that we're just crab cakes and soup and hamburgers. That's not it at all. So let's see what's going to happen in November. So this now brings us to November. So now we're gearing up for the holidays. One of the biggest attractions is a landscape gardening center called Homestead Gardens in Davidsonville, about maybe 10, 11 miles out from downtown Annapolis. And this is just one of a kind type of landscape and garden centers. It began in 1972, I believe, and every year they add not only to their stock of various plants and trees that you can choose from, but for the holidays they go all out. They have all kinds of decorations you can purchase. They run a train, one of those miniature trains, all around the huge store. And kids love that, especially seeing, and then they have the city village or the village set up so everybody can look at that. And in addition, they have 250,000 lights strung throughout the whole garden center and landscape. So they turn it on all at once. So it's this huge blast of illumination starting off the holiday. So that is a lot of fun. And it's a wowie gazowie. So again, that's something that anybody and everybody from, no matter any kid age, no matter how old that kid happens to be, can certainly enjoy that. It's just amazing. And let's not forget another one that is sponsored by the SPCA, and that is Lights on the Bay. And this is great if someone is unable to walk or there's little children, and so you get in the car and it's a drive. You drive through Sandy State Park and they've decorated it. Every year is different, so it's not like it's the same old tried and true type of decorations. And they have elves coming over the cars, and they show Santa, and they show Mrs. Claus and the reindeers. It's amazing what they're able to do with the lights and these objects moving. And children are just wide-eyed when they see it, and people who can't walk appreciate the fact that they can find a little Christmas Mary and never have to get out of the car. So that's another benefit too. So keep that in mind. Sandy Point State Park, it's near the Bay Bridge. The other thing, of course, is we have Thanksgiving, and there is a turkey trot run. So that also is available. My niece participates in that every year. I think it's to run off the calories so she can eat a bigger turkey dinner. Okay, so in November, we also closed, the Chesapeake Bay has 2 spans. So in November, they close one of the spans, and it's open to runners and walkers. So you can walk across the Bay Bridge, get these spectacular views on foot while you're walking, and it's become kind of a big social event. So people go in, they dress warmly depending upon the weather, and they have this glorious walk over the bridge. And I believe there's buses that bring you back, but for those hardy souls, they'll just turn around and walk back over to the western side of the Chesapeake Bay. So that's another goodie and very unique to Annapolis. I mean, I can't think of too many towns or cities that open that for their residents. So now we're in December, and December has its own little joys. We light the Christmas tree at the bottom of Main Street at the roundabout, and it's a lot of people show up for that. It's a big event, and you know, families oftentimes will come in, grab a hot chocolate, or bring their children and get a piece of fudge from downtown Annapolis. And then the other thing is, and this is really phenomenal, is that the yacht club, and I believe it's one of the real estate companies in Annapolis, will do a parade of lights of boats. So the boat owners will decorate their boats in all kinds of fashion. Some have a reindeer, some have Santa. I mean, I can't believe what they do with these boats and these lights. And what they do is they line up and they come into Spa Creek and they go into Ego Alley and they turn around and people marvel. I mean, it is a spectacular event. And I mean, it's elbow to elbow crowded. But people keep coming every year because it's such a spectacular event. And, you know, children love it, adults love it, but dress warmly. And anyway, I hope that gives you kind of a smattering of some of the fun events that we offer here in Annapolis. Some of them are unique to us, and some we continue on the tradition that other cities and towns do. But I mean, I can't imagine anybody saying they're bored living in Annapolis. We're close to DC, we're close to Baltimore, and so you have all those venues available to you as well. So Annapolis, even though it's considered a bedroom community of DC and Baltimore, it feels still very much like a small town. Neighbors really care about one another, and there's real community spirit in this city. I call it a town, but it's legally a city. So I hope that helps you get a feel for what Annapolis is and what it offers its residents and the guests. So you take care. If there's anything John and I can do for you, please call, text, or email us, and we'll be happy to help you make a smooth move to Annapolis, Maryland. Thanks so much.